mummy's with the maggots now.
Death has come to your little town, Sheriff.
Well, hi there.
Hello and welcome to Would You Die, the show where we eat well, live long. I'm Austin Torres.
And I'm Anneliese Petersmark.
And we are continuing Mike Flanagan month of Flanagan, Flana month.
Yeah, all of those things.
We're Flana fans.
Yep, I would say so.
What are we talking about this week?
We are talking about Dr. Sleep, which is a 2019 supernatural horror film, the sequel to The Shining, and it follows The Shining's golden child, Dan Torrance, who is now a man with psychic abilities and a drinking problem, who struggles with childhood trauma and tries to overcome it as he goes through his adulthood.
Can somebody say daddy issues?
More like Danny issues.
Hey!
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, so really excited to get into this. We've obviously talked about The Shining. I mentioned back in January when we did our Cold as Ice month and we watched The Shining that it is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Austin had differing opinions, but...
Dick Halloran opinions,
who we're going to talk about again. But what is your personal connection with seeing this movie?
So, I got a long story for y'all
Awesome.
this week, this Dr. Sleep week.
This sleep.
Death Sleep. Kind of said this in our Shining episode. I like The Shining, and my appreciation for it has grown over the years. But in my earlier horror phases, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. In fact, I really have not seen it without falling asleep.
Yep.
But I was excited. When Dr. Sleep was coming out in 2019, I was very excited for it. Not that I cared about The Shining, but I liked The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
I like the iconography that goes with it. And at this point, all I knew from Mike Flanagan was Hush. And that's all I needed to know because Hush rules. I haven't seen Haunting of Hill House yet because I'm just not, hip with the TV. But I was excited for Dr. Sleep because I knew Mike Flanagan was good. I really liked Hush. More importantly, my boy Ewan McGregor was going to be in it. Going into this, that was my top draw. And I thought it was going to be fine. I'm like, it's a sequel to The Shining. It can't be that good. And even then, The Shining's not, my fave. But I went in with low expectations, and then I got out of the movie, and I just went through, a huge emotional experience watching. It was everything, for me, everything you want out of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and saw it 2 more times in theaters, and I bought it as soon as it came out on 4K Blu-ray. Spoilers for later. And I've seen it a couple times. I've watched the director's cut a bunch. I just fell in love with this movie from the get-go. I made a bunch of people watch it. And yeah, what is your personal connection with this film?
So I didn't even really know. I knew Dr. Sleep existed. I did not know it had anything to do with The Shining. Obviously we've talked a lot about King recently, this year and stuff. I think this is our 3rd King adaptation in 2026? Question mark? 3rd?
4th, if we're counting it as 1.
Oh, I guess, yeah. I was counting it as 1.
Then The Shining and Misery.
Oh, you're right. Oh my gosh, we did 2 in January. You're right. Mm-hmm. So this is our 4th. Yes.
And then last year we did Cujo. We didn't do Cujo.
No, we did not.
We did Pet Cemetery and Carrie.
Yes.
I don't know why those 2 in my brain connected to be Cujo. We'll cover it though.
Starts with a C. Has to do with animals. That makes sense. Yeah, this is not the last time that we're going to even be talking about Stephen King this year, let alone in the podcast.
It's a horror movie podcast. We're going to talk about King.
Right. So I knew that Dr. Sleep was King, but Stephen King has a lot of fucking books. So exactly. I didn't really know what that meant. So I didn't know it was related to The Shining at all. I did not know The Shining had a sequel, nothing. So when you told me, when we were doing Mike Flanagan and you told me we were going to do Dr. Sleep, I was like, oh, cool, another Stephen King adaptation. And then I don't remember how it came up. I think it came up maybe during the Shining episode or in our prep for it, that Dr. Sleep was related and you were excited for me to see it. So I was so pumped going into this movie. And I watched it yesterday morning for the first time. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I had no idea that it was like a Stephen King adaptation.
I think I only knew it was a Shining thing from the trailers, because I feel like the marketing team knew the average person wasn't going to say, Dr. Sleep, that sounds like a Shining sequel.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be like, what the fuck is this? So they put a lot of Shining, as much Shining stuff as they could into the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I was hyped for the movie, mostly because of Ewan McGregor, and like I said, I liked Hush, I liked Mike Flanagan, but let's be real, Ewan McGregor's the reason my butt was seated.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Shining stuff in the trailer. So I was like, oh, okay, that's ambitious.
Fair.
Jeremy, what is your personal connection with Dr. Sleep?
So I want to say I'm in this room probably have read the most Stephen King.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably correct. I know Anneliese hasn't read any.
Yeah.
And I've read a few. I don't think I've read more than you.
I don't think so.
I like Stephen King a lot, so like I do read a lot of his work. I like his like short stuff that like a lot of people kind of don't know exists.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Body, which was adapted into Stand By Me, like that type of work. But so I've read a lot of Stephen King. I knew that Dr. Sleep, like I remember when Dr. Sleep was published.
Yeah.
And I knew it was a book. I didn't know the premise at all, though. Like, I just was like, Dr. Sleep, that sounds so much like a Stephen King novel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just the title. So, I never read it. I never even really looked into it. Because, like, I'm not really, like, there are some people that are really, into this. Who like where they have a favorite author and like they know what books are coming out, right? And they wait for it and they pre-order like the collector's edition or the hardcover or whatever, and then they buy it and it comes out and they get it and they read it right away. Like that's not really me. I like to go to the store and browse Barnes and Noble and go, this looks good.
Yep.
Right. So that's more how I read. So I never got to Dr. Sleep. I'm very interested in reading it now. I had no idea it had anything to do with The Shining, like, at all.
Yeah.
I didn't know until we put it on the calendar for this. Mm-hmm. I didn't know they made a movie out of it. Had no idea, at all. So, yeah, wasn't, like, on my radar as a Shining sequel. I like The Shining. I haven't seen it in a long time. I think I talked about this on the podcast that we did about The Shining. I didn't go with you guys when you guys went to see it.
Lame.
Loser.
Yeah. So I didn't get to go. Still haven't seen The Shining in years, and like I like the movie. I remember, I think I said this bang, like it's a movie that in my head I would like have been for a long time. Like that needs to they need to redo it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's true now. I don't know if that's like 13 or 14-year-old me remembering that movie and not really knowing enough about film yet to really understand that it's fine the way it is. But yeah, I like The Shining. I was excited when I found out that this was a Shining sequel. It's very funny because in my head I was like, what? The story kind of wraps up. It's fine. Do we really need a sequel? And then like really early in the movie you're like, oh yeah, that would fuck a guy up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
That's kind of how I went in. I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. There's some trauma. But so I watched it yesterday with Anneliese in the morning. I liked it a lot. We'll talk. I have one criticism, which we'll get to, it's not really part of my Letterboxd review, so I guess we won't. But I'll just say it. My one criticism.
Oh, spoiler alerts for Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
Possibly the book. We'll probably talk about the book a little bit, even though I'm pretty sure none of us have read it.
No, I don't think so.
But I know a bit about it.
Okay.
Just Band-Aid off. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert for both book and The Shining, and obviously this movie.
Granted, we watched the director's cut.
I did too.
So that may have added some length. I think this movie was too long. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Like you're gonna hear in my Letterboxd review, I really enjoyed the movie. I do think it was a touch too long. That's my only criticism.
And that's why it's the director's cut.
Right.
I do agree with it. I think it's paced a little better than the 2.5, the theatrical cut.
Okay.
Which I think the theatrical cut is very good. And that's the version I saw 3 times in
Right.
theaters. But I like the director's cut more because it has, like, the theatrical cut doesn't have the chapters titles throughout. And I think the director's cut has a lot more of, like, there are added scenes, yes, but it's mostly extended scenes where there's a lot more character development. And there's about just under a half-hour difference between the 2 versions. So if you think about it, that's a lot of character development
Right.
to take out of a movie. But I do agree. I think it gets bogged down a little bit in the 3rd act when we finally make it to the Overlook.
Mm-hmm.
Because there might be a little too much Shining nostalgia.
Which is so interesting because both Jeremy and I agreed that was the best part.
And no, it is the best part, but sometimes a little too much.
I think it was slow at the beginning.
I agree. I thought the last 2 hours were by far the best part of the whole movie.
Well, I mean, I think the 3rd act could have been tightened a little bit. Because, like...
Oh, I agree. I think a lot of it was a nostalgia grab, but that's, you know.
But, and there's stuff where Mike Flanagan has said, like, we maybe overdid it in the Overlook. But in our defense, we were excited.
Yeah.
And this is interesting because, you know, people hear studio notes and they're like, oh, they're and they can be. But the studio, according to this podcast I was listening to earlier today, Script Apart, they had Mike Flanagan on as a guest, and he said that Warner Brothers actually asked for even more Overlook stuff and even more references to The Shining.
That doesn't surprise me because, of course, like, that's what the
Right.
studios are going to be looking for, as much nostalgia as possible. I think they did a pretty good job. I would agree that it probably needed to be tightened up a little bit, but I think they did a pretty good job at, like, making The Shining, the Overlook, the backdrop for a lot of the character development that Dan still had to do.
Yeah. So, like, the scene where he changes his eye color,
Yeah.
so his mom don't have to look at Jack Torrance's eyes and Danny.
Yeah.
And also, so they can justify the Ewan McGregor casting
Yeah.
from Lil Danny Lloyd.
Who has these big, big brown eyes.
Right. That's not in the theatrical cut.
No, that makes sense.
But it's little touches that I think make the movie better.
Yeah, I agree. So I want to do some historical context before we get too far into it, because I know we're going to have a lot to talk about with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you know more than I do, but I'm just going to tell you what I know, and then you can fill in gaps. Originally, Akiva Goldsman was set to write and produce Dr. Sleep for Warner Brothers, but they couldn't secure a budget for that or for the Overlook Hotel, which was supposed to be a prequel, kind of explaining the original story of the winter engineer keeper before Jack Torrance. Obviously, Warner Brothers released It, which was a different adaptation, which we talked about last month. And then, because of its box office success, that's kind of what led to fast-tracking Dr. Sleep. They hired Mike Flanagan to rewrite the script, direct the film. Goldsman still received executive producer credit. And Flanagan was really excited because it touched on childhood trauma and how it led into adulthood and addiction and all of that stuff, which we'll get into later. Obviously, the cast started to be assembled, and they had to really pick and choose very carefully their cast, because a lot of them were the same cast as, or the same, not the same cast, the same characters as the original. I happen to think that the casting was done very, very well. I think specifically, and I know we'll talk again more about actors later, but I think very specifically the recasting of Dick Halloran was phenomenal.
Oh,
Carl Lumbly.
Yeah, he is so good.
Yeah.
When I first saw the movie, I was like, did they just get... Wait, I was like, is this CG? Like, I thought it was the original guys what's his name?
Scatman Crothers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's not.
It's not, but it's insane how...
When I first saw Dr. Sleep, I haven't seen The Shining in a bit, so
Yeah.
I didn't remember exactly what Scatman looked like. But it was it felt like him.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I agree. I think he was probably the best. I think that the woman who played Wendy...
Alex Esso.
Yes, she did a great job kind of bringing the spirit of Shelley Duvall to the character. The young Danny actor was phenomenal as well.
Yeah, he looks a lot like Danny Lloyd.
He really does. Danny Lloyd did have a cameo. He made a cameo in the baseball game scene. And was apparently really excited to do it. Mike Flanagan reached out to him via Twitter. He DM'd him on Twitter. The producer, Trevor Macy, had this quote to say and said, "He was excited to do the cameo. He hadn't acted since the original. He's a school teacher and a very successful one at that, like making the world better. He came back for a day and we are thrilled to have him."
Shout out teachers.
Shout out baseball.
Shout out baseball.
baseball.
Shout out teachers who coach baseball.
It's a unique and niche audience, but I dig it. I'm in.
I don't shout those people out. A bunch of people were asking why there wasn't a Jack Nicholson cameo because they didn't extend the offer to him, but he's like very seriously retired. He was asked to do a cameo for Ready Player One and was like, absolutely not. So they were like, we're going to respect his privacy on this one. Like, we don't need to bother him.
Yeah, and Jack Nicholson's not someone you want to bother.
Right.
He's scary.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about Jack Torrance.
Sure.
Did you recognize who played him in this movie?
I feel like I did, but I couldn't tell you from where, to be honest.
So that is Henry Thomas.
Okay.
And Flana fans will know.
Oh!
Henry Thomas.
Yes!
Carl Lumbly and Alex Esso all show up in future.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But Henry Thomas is most famous for a little film called E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Yes.
Henry Thomas plays Elliot.
Mm-hmm.
And
I did know that. He's also a very frequent Flana flyer.
Henry Thomas has a really interesting career because when he was in his teenage years, he played a young Norman Bates in Psycho 4.
Okay.
Which is a really interesting movie, directed by Mick Garris and starring Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, but then had his flashbacks where Henry Thomas plays Norman and then Olivia Hussey is Norma. Really interesting movie. Mick Garris, who I said directed, is best known for doing a lot of Stephen King adaptations, probably most famously the first Stand miniseries and the Shining miniseries with Steven Weber, which is a full circle moment back to here. Her web connects us all.
Her web connects us all. Yeah, just wild. I knew that he was like a frequent collaborator of Mike Flanagan. I did not put together that he was Elliot until you said that.
And that's
wild.
It's fun because child actors don't always go on to continue acting, but I feel like Henry Thomas didn't blow up like Drew Barrymore did. But then Henry Thomas kept working and just getting really good,
Well, and as you mentioned, he's been in a lot of like horror stuff. I mean, like he was in Stephen King's Desperation, and he was in Pet Sematary Bloodlines, and obviously all of the Mike Flanagan stuff as well.
Yeah.
But
he's really good in House of Usher, I think.
Yes, I agree. He's very, very disconcerting in that one. He's also, he's very good in all of the Mike Flanagan television shows as well. Okay, so I definitely didn't realize that was him until you said that, and then I was like, yep, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, the makeup they do on him's really good too. But yeah, I thought Henry Thomas playing Jack Torrance is it's such a good get. And Alex Esso, just circling back to her playing Wendy, she don't look like Shelley Duvall, but she sounds just like her.
Just like her. Yeah.
Like, her Wendy is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And when she's like, Doc, like, I'm like, did they just take the audio from the original?
Do you ever, this is kind of, it's related, I promise. Do you ever, like, see somebody and you're like, I for sure know who that person is, and I know I've seen them in something, and then you go look at their filmography and you're like, I've never seen any of these things.
Are you talking about Alex Sesso?
No.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Jacob Tremblay.
You haven't seen Room?
I've never seen Room. I know he's in Room, but, like, I've never seen Room.
Huh. I know you haven't seen The Predator.
No.
Because you've told me there's only one Predator movie you've seen.
Yeah.
I know it ain't that one.
No, I've never seen... Oh, I have seen Wonder, which he was the main character in Wonder.
But he has all that
But
makeup
he had all
on.
that makeup, so I
Mhm.
know that's not, like, where I recognize him from.
I think he plays Chip in the Beauty and the Beast remake.
Oh. He plays Flounder in
Or
the little...
no, he plays
yeah.
Flounder. I'm sorry, he plays Flounder.
Yeah, but again, I probably wouldn't recognize him from that. He's also in Luca, which I loved as Luca, but again...
voice acting.
He's voice acting. So, yeah, I don't know where I know him from, but I know that I know him.
I know him from the movie Good Boys, and I love him. That movie
Oh, yeah.
is so funny.
I've
But
seen
Good Boys was like the
Mhm.
middle school version of Superbad,
Yep.
and it was hilarious.
He's in a lot of stuff.
He's, like, pretty young, right?
He's like 19 or
He's
something.
19. Okay.
But, like, Room came out 10 years ago, and he was...
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
that
going to
was
be
great.
the Unabomber.
Oh. I don't think he should do that.
So that's good. He's going to be Ted Kaczynski,
Our little Jacob Tremblay's growing up.
if you wondered. Anywho, none of that is important.
He's good in this movie.
He is good in this movie.
He's going to be in the movie Wildwood, which I'm really looking forward
Yeah,
to.
Anneliese at one point literally goes, he's like scary good to a point where I'm uncomfortable.
I have a story about that in this. I already said spoiler alert, so we're into this.
Yeah.
Jacob Tremblay plays baseball kid who gets fucking murdered by the True Knot.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball boy.
Baseball
Yeah,
boy.
but what'd I say?
Baseball kid.
What's the difference?
None.
Alliteration.
Alliteration is the difference.
I guess that's technically true.
But the True Knot, led by one of my favorite horror villains of recent years, Rose the Hat,
Mm-hmm.
played to perfection by Rebecca Ferguson.
Yes.
They are a group of like energy vampires.
Mm-hmm.
I would kind of describe them as, and they kill children who shine, eat their souls or steam.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this really intense, brutal scene where they kill Jacob Tremblay's character, and Rebecca Ferguson and the rest of the True Knot cast, they're like hyping each other up before that, we're gonna kill the kid, we're gonna be evil, blah blah blah, actors stuff.
Yeah.
Getting into character, and then they go to do the scene, and they're all shaken up by Jacob Tremblay's performance. After they cut, Rebecca Ferguson had to like take a break,
Yeah.
compose herself. Jacob Tremblay is like, cool, all covered in blood, goes get a juice box.
Okay, so this is the thing, right? Is like, I feel like a lot of times people who don't necessarily like horror, and I understand this to a point, because I also have this fear one day that I'm gonna become so desensitized by like gross shit that I'm like gonna be less empathetic. That's like a fear that I have, because it's what people say about horror movies. It's, by the way, not statistically something that happens. People have done studies on this. It's not, you're okay. Violent video games are not going to turn you into a school shooter, I promise. Other things might, but that's another story. But it's still like something that I think about in the back of my mind, where I'm like, am I getting too used to this kind of stuff? And my answer is no. And the reason that I know that is because watching Jacob Tremblay, I was like, that's like a real child having a real visceral reaction to violence. He's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, I was uncomfortable. I normally do not, like, when it comes to scenes like that, I normally do not, because I'm able to separate, like, fiction from reality, because I am, like, a person who has a fully developed brain. But, God, in that moment, I was like, he sounds so scared.
Right.
I hope, like, he's okay. And so, yeah, it was just, like, very wild. He was very good. Oh, my God. Ugh.
I know a lot of people, they have a hard time with that scene for obvious reasons. I just think it's so funny that, like, apparently Jacob Tremblay, like, after that scene, Jacob Tremblay's like, okie dokie, and he's just fine afterwards.
Yeah.
And the true Notcast were the ones that were shaken up.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he delivers a great performance. The little bit where he's whimpering, he's like, are you going to hurt me? And Rose the Hat goes, yes. And he just unleashes this horrible, like, squeal, this whimper. It's a great scene. It's a great performance.
Ugh.
Very upsetting.
It's this one scene in this 3-hour movie. He's not even really a main character at all. Like,
Right.
he's literally just kind of there to show what they do. And, oh, I couldn't watch it. Oh, my God.
It's a big moment in the film because it comes maybe a little earlier than the halfway. It's deep into the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It might be at the halfway point.
Yeah.
Maybe a little earlier.
Yeah.
But it kind of sets off, because the way this film's structured really interestingly.
Mm-hmm.
It starts off with 3 major plot lines, and then the baseball boy's murder is what brings these 3 separate plot lines together into one.
Yeah.
It's almost I feel like the inciting incident's a wrong way to put, but it's like, it's what brings everything together.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not read the book Dr. Sleep, but from what I hear, the book is structured like that as well, which kind of years of listening to Mike Flanagan talk about this movie, because I love this movie and I just eat it up. Eat 'em up. Nom nom.
No.
I distracted myself. What the fuck was I saying?
That's embarrassing for you. I wish I could help you, but I don't know where you were going with it.
What the fuck was I saying?
You were saying in all the things that you've watched or listened to about this movie.
Oh, I have an understanding of the book. I have not read the book, but I have an understanding of
Fair.
it from where Mike Flanagan came from writing it and stuff like that. When Stephen King was writing this book, he hated Stanley Kubrick's version of The Shining. Like, there is some, if you go back, there is some serious vitriol towards that movie coming from Steve. Because Stephen King wrote, that was a deeply personal novel for Stephen King.
Yeah.
And Stanley Kubrick's like, suck it, don't care, and made his thing.
Yeah, he did not enjoy it, really.
And there's a big part of Stephen King writing Dr. Sleep was taking control of that narrative back. In the original Shining book, are you okay if I spoil The Shining for you, book-wise?
Yeah.
The original ending of The Shining, Jack Torrance has this moment where he blows up the Overlook Hotel by going to the boiler room. That ending showing up in Dr. Sleep. The movie, not Dr. Sleep, the book. Dick Halloran's alive at the end of The Shining. Dick Halloran's alive at the end of... or not alive at the end of the movie. So he's alive in the book. Like, Dr. Sleep was Stephen King's way of being like, that movie's not canon. This is the real...
Yeah.
Whatever. So, Mike Flanagan, making Dr. Sleep, wanted to incorporate the body, like the cinematic language of Stanley Kubrick's version, and use, obviously, Stephen King's tone and story, and just marry the two. Stephen King, while they were making this movie, was not really into the idea of using any of the Kubrick anything. He's like, nah, stick with my books. Stick with, And Mike Flanagan was able to win Stephen King over, being like, I want to use the cinematic language of Kubrick. I want to place this third act in the Overlook Hotel, which famously blew up at the end of the Shining book. And he goes, I want to include this scene of Dan Torrance, now an adult, going to the bar where the bartender is now Jack Torrance, and they have a conversation about alcohol and addiction. And according to Mike Flanagan, Stephen King kind of pondered on that a little bit and said, all right, go ahead. And after the release of Dr. Sleep, after Stephen King had seen it, Stephen King actually turned around a little bit on The Shining. Like, this movie was able to soften Stephen King's, like, vitriol towards The Shining. And it's like, I don't know. Mike Flanagan did something really special in marrying the two warring sides of Kubrick and King, because the Kubrick estate loved Dr. Sleep, the Mike Flanagan version, and then Stephen King was won over by... You know how hard that is to do?
Win over Stephen King after he shit on your stuff for, like, multiple decades?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and Stephen King, like, famously loves his shit getting adapted in the movies. Like, he does. Like,
Yeah.
his favorite adaptation, I mean, at least, I don't know if this has changed. I mean, it's possible. But, like, in an interview that I've seen with him, his favorite adaptation was Stand By Me of his work, The Body. And his reasoning is he was like, that's the book I wrote, but on TV.
Yeah.
He works really hard on his shit, and he wants it to be faithful.
Right.
And that's not to say, like, The Shining's a well-renowned novel. It's also a very successful film. Like, I don't think anybody's looking at Kubrick's movie and being like, trash. Like,
Well, actually, some people did.
sure.
It was nominated for a lot of Razzies, but we talked about that a few months
Right.
ago.
But, I don't know. I think that, like, Stephen King likes his movies, or likes his books. He's excited to see them on the big screen. So if he's going in already at a base level of, my book is going to be a movie. And then if you make him walk out of the theater being like, that was bad, you have messed up somewhere.
Because and he's seen bad adaptations of his film.
Yeah,
his books,
of course.
But normally he's like, well, my book didn't change.
Right.
Good movie, bad movie, doesn't matter. The book's still on the shelf.
Right.
The words I wrote are still the words I wrote. So he's and he's very much liked a lot. Like you said, he likes Stand By Me. He always has high praise for Cujo, which makes me happy. He believed Dee Wallace was snubbed from an Oscar for that one. I believe he's on record of saying he really liked the Andy Muschietti It movies.
Yep.
Oh, he loves Misery. He
Yeah.
said Misery's one of it. I mean, Rob Reiner, man.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong there.
And then Frank Darabont's work on King's stuff, like Shawshank Redemption, or The Mist, or The Green Mile. Stephen King liked those as well. So it's like, it's not like Stephen King. It's just The Shining's so different because that book was so personal to him. You know, it's different if you, like, fuck up Christine. Like, he might be annoyed, but he's not going to lose any sleep. The Shining, like, Jack Torrance is basically an avatar for Stephen King to work through his struggles with addiction. And Stanley Kubrick said, I'm going to hire Jack Nicholson to be insane the whole time. It's a great movie, but I can see why Stephen King doesn't love it.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of it being a deeply personal book for Stephen King and Dr. Sleep being a deeply personal movie for Mike Flanagan, I want you to talk a little bit about that and their connection through those things.
Yeah. So I had just mentioned that Stephen King writing The Shining is dealing with his addictions to alcohol. I think primarily alcohol, but drugs and stuff.
Drugs as well, yeah.
But primarily alcohol is what's dealt with in The Shining. When he writes Dr. Sleep, he's a sober man and had been sober for at least a decade. I think a little longer, but at least a decade. When Mike Flanagan is working on Dr. Sleep, Mike Flanagan was actually, like, seeing his own problems with addiction, and he became sober during the production of Dr. Sleep. So his work beforehand, like Hush, Oculus, Haunting of Hill House, he was still struggling with addiction. And Dr. Sleep, that was the film that kind of like got him to be sober. And you can see I think that's like, you can see it in his post Dr. Sleep work, especially Midnight Mass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think he's able to make Midnight Mass truly until he was sober. Because he's writing a sober character while,
Right.
But through Dr. Sleep, getting him sober, he's able to go through Midnight Mass so I think that's a deeply personal film for him. And another fact about this film, dealing with this, is while shooting Dr. Sleep, Danny Torrance, the character,
Mm-hmm.
hits a milestone of being 8 years sober, while at the time, Ewan McGregor was actually 8 years sober.
Wow, I didn't know that part.
So I think that was like a really cool thing about this movie, is like people got sober, they were working through some, like, it was important to a lot of people involved. I'm sure there are more, but I don't want to just say, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's really cool that Ewan McGregor was 8 years sober and then playing a character 8 years sober. Like, that's a funny coincidence. I mean, this movie deals with it, I think, and a lot of, like, Danny Torrance, when we first meet him as an adult, is like as low as you can possibly go. And a big chunk of that movie is about him redeeming himself. And there's symmetry with, like, The Shining in that regard, because The Shining's kind of like about a fall and succumbing to addiction. And Dr. Sleep is about recovery and redeeming oneself, overcoming it.
Yeah. One of the, in my opinion, best scenes in the entire movie, which is funny because it really has nothing to do with any of the main plot line, but is when Dan is in the room and it is just flashed 8 years and he gets his chip.
Yeah.
And the way that he talks about his father is so interesting to me, and I think so compelling, because I think it speaks to the humanity of and the complexity of humans, and it really, in my opinion, makes Dan a three-dimensional character.
Yeah.
Because for us, we know Jack Torrance is this big literal horror movie villain. You know what I mean? Like, he is the big bad. Obviously, he was under the influence of the Overlook and all of that, and we know that, but he is still, I mean, like, he injures Danny before they go. He has a huge drinking problem. He's very selfish and mean and cruel, even without the supernatural influence of the Overlook.
Right.
All of that is true. And yet, when Dan gets his chip, he talks about his dad, and he says, my dad struggled with alcohol my whole life. He died when I was 5. I didn't really get to know much about him, but I do know that one time he hurt me, and after that, he went dry.
Mm-hmm.
And this right here is another way for me to connect to him, because at one point, he was here trying to do the same thing that I am trying to do. And it was such an interesting scene because, again, from our perspective, we're like, Jack Torrance is evil. Like, not just bad, not a creepy dude, evil. And it really just humanized him in that moment, because from Dan's perspective, he's like, I know everything that went down. I know it was awful. I know it was horrible. Yeah. I know my dad did these horrible things. But I was 5. You know what I mean? Like, on some level, you're just like, that's my dad.
He still remembers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So I found that to be such a compelling scene and such a really, really good kind of added layer to the entire movie.
I think it's an extremely thoughtful film.
Yes, I agree. I want to kind of talk about, because I'm trying to remember, and we might be kind of going all over the place in this episode, but it's just a very long and complex movie, so I want to make sure that we get to everything. But I want to kind of talk about our respective opinions. I know we're going to give our Letterboxd reviews later, and we can do that, but what?
Not opinions.
Oh, okay.
What are we, podcast hosts?
But I want to talk about them because we had a really interesting conversation about epics, and I want this to segue into that on
okay.
Light. So I have mentioned that I did not necessarily enjoy this movie as much.
Boo this woman. Boo.
as much as Jeremy and Austin did.
They have the correct opinions.
Which is not to say that I did not like it, because that's not true. It's just Austin wants to make it seem like I'm just this evil person who doesn't have feelings or thoughts or anything.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Anyway, I just think if we can have a little nuance for Jack Torrance, we can have nuance for Anneliese. But what do I know? So anyway,
I like that. That was funny.
So I wanted to hear from you guys about your opinion, so I can kind of talk about why my thoughts and opinions differ. So who do you want to go first?
Jeremy, I will let you talk.
Okay.
I'll allow you to speak.
Thank you. Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, I think my only beef with this movie. And
I'm going to stop you right there. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, please.
It's just that it was a little lengthy. This is still one of the movies that I think I've enjoyed more that we've done. I liked it a lot. I thought the final 2 acts of this movie were expertly done. Yes, I think that they did. I mean, we all talked about the kind of the overdone, overlook and all that, but I thought they did it in a way that didn't feel like Tobey Maguire in No Way Home. You know what I mean?
Right.
It felt more genuine, it felt more real, and it felt like it just was more in play. It was also based on a novel. They weren't just let's make a Shining movie. You know what I mean?
A novel that wants to differentiate itself from the prior one.
Yeah.
Not just because Stephen King hated
Kubrick's movie. Right,
but also as an author who was, 20 years older.
Yeah.
Or however much older he was. He's a different man. He has described The Shining being like ice and Dr. Sleep being like fire.
Sure. Well, and one thing I loved about this movie was, I told Anneliese this yesterday after we watched it, but for a long period of this movie, it's not 100% clear if it is a continuation of The Shining, the book, or if it is a sequel to Kubrick's movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then they start getting into flashbacks where it's literally scenes from Kubrick's movie, where
they recreated the Overlook
right
impeccably.
Yes. Well, and then literal moments where you're seeing Jack Nicholson. You know what I mean? I thought they did a good job. I really liked it. Like I said, I thought the last 2 hours were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Anneliese says I can't give this the rating I gave it because I did fall asleep for 10 minutes at the beginning of the movie.
That is a little long. But I can't say that haven't done that with The Shining either. So
I thought the first hour was quite slow. I won't lie. But
I don't think it's a necessarily fast movie though.
No. It really doesn't get fast paced to literally
I don't think it gets fast paced at all.
minutes.
Actually, I think it has this kind of unrelenting, kind of like a slow march.
Sure.
Of but I think it's a consistent pace.
Yeah.
I don't think slow movies are bad.
A 10-minute drive at the end of the game in Iowa. It's no. I liked it. I thought it was a great movie. I do think it was a little bit longer than it needed to be. That is my take on the movie. Is that if it were a half hour shorter, which it was.
Yeah. You guys watch the director's cut,
you know
not
what
the
I mean?
theatrical cut.
Yeah.
It might be different if you guys watch the.
Yeah, and I'd almost like to watch the theatrical cut to see if I'm oh, I like this more.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would or not. I typically do like the director's cuts of movies more, but I'm curious.
I tend not to, actually. I tend to like theatrical cuts a bit more, because sometimes the director's cuts tend to be a little indulgent, I think.
Sure.
A little, they're just, or not director's cuts, but unrated cuts, or because it's not just direct, you know what I mean? But...
Right. What is your opinion? What are your opinions that Anneliese wants to hear?
Oh, this is one of my favorite movies of the last decade.
I don't know
the past 10 years.
I don't think I would go there, but I like it.
I am. That's why I said it.
Yeah. I think that take is pretty warm.
That it's one of my favorites?
No. No, I mean, I get what you're saying. It's in your opinion. I'm saying, I don't know that this is probably in many people's favorites.
Yeah, because not that many people seen it. This movie
This
was
is fair.
kind of a bomb, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was reading some stuff about, like, because it was, like, it came out in, 2019?
Yeah.
So, like, there were, like, multiple other King adaptations that dropped that year.
It Chapter 2
It
being
Chapter 2, and
the big
was the big
one.
one, and there was one other one.
Pet Sematary, I think?
And I think Pet Sematary outdid this in the theater, which I would argue this is a better movie than Pet Sematary. Like, the new Pet Sematary.
Yeah, and you've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah, that
I've seen
movie's
it,
not great.
It's not great.
I think I've seen all the 2019 Stephen King movies in theaters, actually.
Which
I
is,
saw
that's
I saw Dr.
surprising
Sleep
to me.
and I saw it Chapter 2 in theaters. But with that, I think Dr. Sleep had a hard hill to climb, because if you didn't see the trailer, you're not really going to know it's the sequel to The Shining. But I like that they stuck to their guns and they didn't call it Dr. Sleep, a Shining story, or from the book of The Shining. I'm glad that they, because Dr. Sleep it's a sequel, but it's its own novel. Like, yes, Dan Torrance is but Dan Torrance is almost a new character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what happens when you're like 35 and not 5.
This is a prime example of a legacy sequel.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it is one of the best legacy sequels ever made. And what helps me defend that is legacy sequels aren't usually that good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a low bar.
Yeah, so I can say that with my full chest, and people are going to be like, I guess.
Like, yeah, probably.
But what I think it helps that this is adapted from a book. It's not really self-indulgent with the references. It gets a little there, but, like, I feel like it's earned at that point.
I agree. You
Because
really have to be sucked in to get to the part where they're doing the reference-heavy stuff.
Right, and you had to sit through so much new stuff and cool ideas, and just like, okay, now here's the nostalgia. Other movies don't, they just only want to give you the nostalgia. So, you want to say something, but I'm going to steal your thunder and pose a question real quick.
Okay. What
are some of your guys' favorite legacy sequels?
Ooh, Creed.
Creed's really fucking good.
Creed might be the best one. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I like as a movie, it might be the best one. Oh, this is a good question. I almost need to see a list.
There's a lot more of them now.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's a kind of.
Okay, you know what? Actually, my favorite is Twisters.
I like that. That's a great answer. I love Twisters. I love Creed.
Does Rogue One count?
I don't think
it's not a
so.
sequel, really.
It's almost more of a prequel, I guess. Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I love Rogue
It's
One.
in the middle of it thing.
It's a Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
they're all over the place now.
Oh, you know what's up there though for me? It's not a movie. Cobra Kai.
I was gonna say Cobra Kai.
Okay, I hear great
Kai.
things about Cobra Kai. When it comes to Star Wars, I would consider the sequel trilogy legacy sequels.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Okay.
What about you? What are your favorites? I feel like...
This one's one of them.
Okay.
Can I take a guess at one?
Sure.
Is Jurassic World in there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but Evil Dead Rises. Would you not count that as a legacy sequel?
I guess. It feels just...
like a continuation of the franchise?
Yeah.
Okay,
like,
fair.
It feels like it's not continuing anything. There's barely a story connecting the Evil Dead movie.
That's fair.
It's just like, here's another Evil Dead.
Yeah.
They're evil and they're dead. So, it just feels like a legacy sequel. I feel like the characters have to have aged the 20 or so years, right? Whereas Evil Dead Rise feels like just a different story in that universe. But like Halloween 2018, Scream 2022,
Avatar.
a little bit actually.
The new Avatar movies, they do it. Like they have like full-grown children that you like.
Right,
meet
exactly.
In the
No,
movie.
yeah,
that's true, I suppose.
Force Awakens, Jurassic World, Spider-Man: No Way Home counts. Yes.
Fantasia 2000.
Does that count?
Fuck you, it counts.
Oh, whoa! I I am the defender of Fantasia 2000 in this house.
What about Beetlejuice?
That definitely is one.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick.
I've never seen it. I hate the Top Gun movies. I know that's the hot
Really?
take. I don't like them at all.
Here's the thing. You're wrong about the second one. You're right about the first one.
Oh.
No, I agree. I think Top Gun Maverick rules, but I don't think Top Gun's that good.
They spent most of their budget on the soundtrack, and they only play 2 songs.
That is kind of crazy.
And neither of the songs are good.
That's crazy. Danger Zone is a great song.
If you're like Gen X, I guess. I feel like Top Gun's a movie you had to be there.
Austin, what does your Spotify Wrapped look like? Because I bet you it looks like you're Gen X.
I'm really hurt right now.
But you can't say that I'm wrong.
I don't think. Okay. I've done like the Spotify age before, and it said I was 69.
Okay, well, first of all,
That's so
nice.
funny.
Second of all, yeah.
That's older than Gen X.
Um,
I'm a fucking boomer when it comes to music.
what about Dial of Destiny?
Bruh, I like the movie, but it ain't better than Raiders.
It
doesn't stand on the level of the original trilogy.
No, of course not. But I feel like for
I like
nostalgia, I liked it a lot.
I like it, but...
Can I ask you guys another question?
Yes.
What movies do you think warrant a legacy sequel but haven't had one yet?
I don't think any. But if I had to think about it, because like Devil Wears Prada 2 is coming, or had
That's
already
true.
come out.
It's coming out. Yeah.
That's a movie that doesn't need a sequel. This movie might rule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Top Gun didn't need a sequel. I thought Top Gun Maverick ruled. I was very surprised because I didn't like Top Gun.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think it necessarily is like needs a sequel, but you would like to see where these characters are.
Sure, and I feel like Practical Magic 2 coming out later this year, like
It's a big
Yeah.
one
that
for-
movie rules. The sequel don't need to exist.
Right.
I'm still gonna see it. I think it's gonna be fun. You said you hated Beetlejuice?
I've never seen it.
Oh, I loved Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Can I tell you a secret?
Yeah,
I've never seen either Beetlejuice movie.
that's kind of crazy.
It is a little crazy. It
What?
feels weird that I've never seen it.
I've never seen Beetlejuice.
Movie night.
But I've seen Beetlejuice like
we should
more
do
than
that.
times
Can
than
I
I count.
can I give you one more? Of
Sure.
My favorite legacy sequels that it's kind of a backdoor legacy sequel, but I really liked Split.
Yes. Well, it is. It almost doesn't count
Because
because
you only see Bruce Willis for 5 seconds.
after the first,
the
it's a
credits.
mid-credit
Yeah.
scene. Exactly.
But I like that.
But Split is like a really good movie.
It sucks because you see him all the time in Glass, but that movie's not as good. I was
Right.
fine. But can I tell you, here's the one I will tell you that I think deserves a legacy sequel. Or not deserves, but I would love a legacy sequel. That we'll never get because they greenlit a series that got nixed by Disney Plus. The Sandlot.
Oh.
They had the whole cast.
and they
all
nixed
of them.
it.
All of them agreed to do it, and they nixed it.
That sucks.
But I would have loved it. Oh my god, it would have been the best.
I really liked. You know what? I had it in my brain and I lost it. Oh, thank God you had that up because I'm looking at your screen, Jeremy. Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, yeah.
I really liked that one. I really liked Final Destination Bloodlines, which I'm the only one in this room that have seen it.
I haven't. Yeah, I need to because I like those movies too.
Right. I'm trying to answer your question, Anneliese. What's a movie that doesn't have one that I think...
I think
there are some movies I think I would like to remake.
the Creed poll is the best one.
Probably.
God, it's good.
Like, I would like to remake Alligator, but I wouldn't want to do a legacy sequel to it because... No, you just remake it.
Right.
It's Alligator, like it's fine. But maybe Christine,
That's fair.
because if I'm thinking of the book, if Stephen King ever wanted to revisit Christine, I think there's an avenue you can go down with it. That could be really cool.
Mhm.
And I'm down for Killer Car always. I feel like a lot of the ones I would think of already got theirs, or
That's
that,
fair.
or like I would never have thought of Twisters. I would have never thought of Devil Wears Prada 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, you know what's a good one that is technically animated and it became like an animated series too, but not technically. It like is animated. I don't know what I'm talking about. Batman Beyond. I would love to get a live action of that. Because that is the definition of a legacy sequel. It's old Bruce Wayne training a new Batman.
Right. No, it really is.
Yeah. Twisters? Does that count?
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Anneliese has mentioned it like 9 times.
But it's not
dude.
like I'm asking. Like the reason I'm asking if it counts is like it's not really the same. The characters haven't changed. They're just different people.
They're different people, but they use the same like Dorothy and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be okay then. If that's not a legacy sequel, then neither is
Creed
or Top
That's
Gun Maverick
true.
or any of the new Star Wars or any of them.
Well, I think Jeremy's point is like none of the original characters are in it.
Fuck you, I can say what I want.
Well, it's like I'm looking at this
This is
list
my
right now.
bad
That's
day.
like Mad Max Fury Road is a great legacy sequel. I'm like, but it's the same character, played by a different dude, and he's not. He's still.
Also, I thought it was a prequel.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Mad Max. I mean, it's a fine movie. I happen to like Furiosa a lot more, but like, I don't know what the timeline is for those movies. Mad
Right.
Max is Mad Max, you know. But I think Scream 2022 defines a legacy sequel very well.
Yeah.
Terminator
Yeah.
had one and Dark Fate, but we're not mentioning that one for a reason. I guess Deadpool and Wolverine kind of is one.
Yeah, kinda.
Logan.
Logan. Oh, Logan's a great one.
Logan is one. Yeah, and Logan's really, really fucking good.
God, that movie, yeah, is phenomenal.
Okay, so
I
we
think
have
Creed would be my favorite.
I think Creed is the best one.
okay, so we have to talk about my criticisms and kind of what this leads into with my like thoughts on movies in general. So I was mentioning that I thought to Austin, I was mentioning this on mic, that I think that for me, A, I need to see this again, first of all. And B, I think I either need to see the the theatrical release, or I need to, because in the director's cut, they have chapter titles, which does not exist in the theatrical release.
Right.
And I think that for me, I have become so used to the formula of Mike Flanagan's TV shows that what might have been good for me is to like stop after each chapter and kind of give myself some time to digest each part, because I just felt like it was so much movie.
Right.
And it was all a very cohesive narrative and everything. Like, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, they did too much, because they didn't. You could not leave a part out. It wasn't that. It was just, I needed more time to digest each thing that happened before I went on to the next part. And Austin...
It's a big meal.
It is a big meal. And Austin mentioned, like, hey, maybe it's just that you don't enjoy epics. And I had never really thought of that, but there are a lot of epics that I don't enjoy. So I kind of wanted to sit down and, like, A, define an epic, and B, kind of talk about that for a second.
In my opinion, an epic is a film that spans, or I guess any work of art, but for the purposes of this conversation, a film that spans a large cast of characters going over several decades and spanning miles on miles. So Dr. Sleep technically qualifies on the fact that cast of characters, check. Cast spanning decades, at least 3 decades. That's a long time, you know. And the True Knot span millennia, so their backstory is extremely expansive. Spanning distance, it is a cross-country film with majority of it taking place in like the New Hampshire area, but the True Knot are kind of all over like the Midwest and stuff, and then there's time in Florida. Obviously, yeah, it's spanning all over the United States, and the United States is fucking big.
Right.
So we were kind of looking up lists. A film that has 2 of 3 is Raiders of the Lost Ark. I would not consider it an epic. It has a large cast of characters. It's globe-trotting. It takes all over the place.
Yeah.
It takes place in, what, a week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a epic. It's
Yeah.
it's an adventure, and I love that film.
Right.
Annalisa found a list where Jurassic Park was on there, and I'm like, small cast
Took place over 2 days.
on an island.
Right. Like none of those things.
I guess they travel from Montana to island, but
yeah,
But
that's
like most of
interesting.
it takes place on
yeah,
it.
90% of that
Right.
film is on Isla Nublar. So
The Lord of the Rings movies, I imagine.
Epics.
Epics, for sure.
Yeah. Lawrence of Arabia, I think, is like the textbook
Sure.
epic.
Ben-Hur.
Ben-Hur,
is another
definitely.
one.
A lot of those
Ben-Hur.
biblical films, because the Bible's epic, you know.
The Bible is literally by definition an epic also.
The Odyssey upcoming.
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
mean, literally, it's an epic. It's an
Yeah.
epic poem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone with the Wind, I think. I don't know if it's...
Gone with the Wind is in fact an epic.
Yeah.
It does not span geographically very much because of the fact that it mostly takes place.
Right.
But it spans over decades of this woman's life.
I think the decades are more important than the globe spanning.
Yeah.
And that's all...
I think there are exceptions to every rule, but
Right.
I...
But yeah, Gone with the Wind, definitely.
Titanic, as we talked about off mic.
Titanic is... Yep. Is Citizen Kane?
Probably?
Or is that just a biography?
I don't know. Sometimes it's hard because a lot of
Right.
like old war movies are also that.
Because I don't know if Oppenheimer is an epic, but it might qualify as
But
one.
it could. What about like Les Mis?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Takes place all over France, at least.
Yeah.
War is involved, big cast of characters. The decades thing is the...
Would you consider Forrest Gump an epic?
Because it's just the one character, it's harder.
That's fair, but it does span over multiple
Right.
decades and all over the country.
Technically,
And in
technically, the
Vietnam.
Odyssey only follows Odysseus,
That's true.
and that is by
Is-
definition that is the epic.
Is Forrest Gump Odysseus?
He might be.
I'm trying to do like a Forrest Gump bit in Odysseus, but and
I-
in the Odyssey.
The thing is if you say that Forrest Gump is not an epic because it only follows one character, then that means that the Ten Commandments can't be an epic because
Right.
it only follows Moses. That means Amadeus can't be an epic.
I
because it
think
only
Forrest
follows
Gump is an
Mozart.
epic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it
Because
is.
there's still a large cast of characters.
Right.
yes,
He's
yeah,
still
there's one
meeting
main
a bunch
character,
of people.
but
Yeah.
Like Dr. Zhivago is an epic.
right.
Is Warhorse an epic even though it only follows one horse?
That horse meets a lot of people. And he is traveling all over Europe, and it does take
So
takes place
does Forrest Gump.
over a war.
Yeah.
War Horse is an epic.
I think, yeah. I mean, the big ones are like, the big, like, historical epics are like
Yeah.
Lawrence of Arabia, Ben-Hur, Gone with the Wind, Dr. Zhivago, maybe.
I guess maybe Oppenheimer is an epic.
Yeah, maybe.
I still don't think Raiders is. That only takes place over a
No,
week.
I don't think so, too.
And we were saying Star Wars, movie by movie, I don't feel like are epics. But if you put them all together, but then again, that's a fantasy epics are
Yeah.
a thing.
I've been told that Dances with Wolves is an epic.
I was gonna bring that one up, but I didn't wanna.
I haven't seen
That's
it.
funny.
I can't watch it. But yeah, so anyway, the point is that I actually don't necessarily think that, like, I don't like epic movies or even that this movie was bad or should have been a TV show, but I talked about this off mic. I really think that if you're going to make me sit through a movie that's over 2.5 hours, I think we should bring back the intermission. And I don't think that's too much to ask. I think giving the audience 10 minutes to sit with what they've just watched, I think is a good idea. That's my hot take.
Here's where I'm not going to push back. I'm going to challenge you a little bit. Where would you put the intermission for Dr. Sleep? Director's cut.
I mean, like, I don't remember exactly where, like, the halfway point is or what's going on at the halfway point, but probably at whatever chapter break is closest to the halfway point.
I would put it right after the baseball boys murder. And make the audience sit right with that.
Which is disturbing, but I think would be effective.
Yeah.
And instead, we just kept going, which is fine, but whatever.
I think it's fair if you're not the biggest fan of movies of that scope, you know.
But
because not everyone is, you
but
know.
Again, I don't even think that's true. I genuinely think it's just like when there's no time to sit with
Right.
what you're talking. I mean, like,
And I don't mean like you don't like big, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but I don't take it as an insult. I think that plays that were 3 hours have an intermission.
Right.
Like, I think that anything else, I mean, TV shows obviously have natural breaks. Books have chapters. Anything else, any other medium is meant to be put down and sat with and absorbed before you go on to the next part.
Right.
And that's one of the good things about movies is that you don't really have that time. They're telling you this condensed stories. But as movies get longer and longer and longer, I think and a 3-hour movie is becoming, it's not the norm, but is becoming more the norm than like the grand exception that they used to be. I think bringing back an intermission is not necessarily a terrible idea.
No, I don't think so either, especially because, like you said, the movies being longer are the norm. They're doing it in, like, you go to a repertory theater that's playing an old movie on. We saw Jurassic Park at the Redford. They had an intermission. Jurassic Park's not even a movie that needs an intermission, but that's an old school theater doing things the old school way. Mm-hmm. I saw Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, when that came out in December. They had an intermission, but also that's 2 movies put into one.
Yeah.
To make one big movie.
Right. So, as far as cultural impact, Dr. Sleep was not seen by a lot of people.
If you're listening to this, Mike Flanagan, I did my best. I saw it 3 times.
You did your duty.
I did my best.
It was received pretty well critically. It just, like, for some reason, didn't do very well. And I think it's because of the fact that, you know, I actually don't necessarily think, at least for the first bit of it, you need more than like a surface level understanding of The Shining. Like, I think if somebody gave you a 20-minute summary of The Shining, you could go in and watch this movie and understand it. I don't know that you would necessarily like the last third as much as everybody else did. Sure. But, like, you could go in and understand it. But that being said, when something is marketed as a sequel to something that existed, you know, like 40 years before, that can provide somewhat of a barrier. So that seems to be kind of the reason that it did not do as well. And
all the marketing materials, like the posters, looks like it's The Shining, both like the main poster designs. The trailer put all the Shining references they could without spoiling it.
Right.
The movie begins with a boom, 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 which I guess we'll talk about later.
Baller.
Like, it has, and then the director's cut specifically has even more of the Kubrickian, like, has all the dissolves, the slow dissolves. And
yeah. I think it's really interesting because someone stated, Brian Tallarico of RogerEgbert.com said, quote, Flanagan was tasked with making a sequel to a film that stays loyal to a book that ignores the changes made in the first movie, which is interesting because it is technically the sequel to the Shining movie.
Yes.
But tries very hard to stay loyal to the book, which the Shining movie wasn't. And that is a very hard task to accomplish.
Right.
And I think, you know, I mean, like, adapting Stephen King is one thing. Writing a spiritual sequel to a Stanley Kubrick is another.
Doing both is insane.
It's a very ambitious project. I think it was done relatively well for that, but what a difficult task for Mike Flanagan to have to do. Right.
And, you know, I know a lot of people didn't see the movie when it first came out. I do think it is starting to find its audience after I think when it first went to HBO Max, I think that helped. Mm-hmm. I think it found its audience on VOD and streaming. Because I remember people like, they made a sequel to The Shining? I said, yeah, I saw it in theaters 3 times.
Yeah.
I don't even I like The Shining a lot, but I don't love The Shining.
Right.
Although, kind of like Stephen King, I actually grew more appreciative of The Shining after watching Dr. Sleep. Mm-hmm. And then also seeing it in the IMAX a few months ago was really beneficial to my appreciation of it. But
God, I think that might be one of my highlights of this year so far, honestly.
And that was last year.
Well, I meant like doing the podcast for it.
Oh,
I guess we also technically recorded the podcast last year, but you know what I meant.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we move on to our sleeperlatives?
Our Dr. Sleeplatives. Our Rose the Hatlatives. Our...
Baseball boylatives.
Our...
You're just saying things in front of latives. None of that makes sense. Sleeperlatives make sense.
Yeah, sleeperlatives is good.
Abra Stonelatives. Superlid Abra.
Abrelatives.
Abrelatives is good.
I have the high ground latives. You were the chosen one lit.
Hello there, latives.
That's it.
All right, who would you save?
I don't want to pick the obvious answer, and there is an obvious answer. Oh, there's so many. You know what?
I was going to say, I don't know that there is an obvious answer. There's like 4 of them.
You know what? We didn't talk about him at all, but I love him. I'm saving Billy, Dan's best friend, played
Yep.
by Cliff Curtis.
Yup. I called that kill too. Damn.
And it's a great holy shit moment
I
in the
can't do it.
movie. I gasped out loud in the theater when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
He is the best person who ever lived, and he is a fictional character.
He's really great.
I love Billy. And I guess Billy lives in the book. So Mike Flanagan was just being mean. I think it works for the movie, though. I think it gives the movie a bit more dramatic stakes. You guys are looking at something.
So here's the problem is sometimes I will have like the Wikipedia open so that I can reference it and see the cast and everything. So I opened up the cast and stuff and so that I could like look at things and everything, and I was like, oh yeah, like I'm looking through some of the actors to see if I can remind myself of something. And I need you to know that Robert Longstreet, who plays Billy the Chunk,
Yeah.
was also in a movie in what year was that? Let's find it.
2019?
No, it wasn't 2019 because that would have been Dr. Sleep.
Oh. I thought for some reason, I thought you were saying it was the same year as Dr. Sleep.
No, he was in a movie in 2025 called Fuck My Son.
Oh.
Which is, the premise is, quote, an elderly woman kidnaps a young woman and her daughter for her mutant son to fornicate with.
Oh.
So, anyway, that's what we were looking at. I would say... I would save Bradley Trevor, a.k.a. Baseball Boy.
I'm sorry.
Are you still stuck on Fuck My Son?
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. There's no other response to that. I'm sorry. But
Yeah, no, that's fair.
wow. Robert Longstreet, you'll also know from Midnight Mass.
Yeah,
And,
he's in actually like quite
A lot of
a few
Mike
of
Flanagan,
Mike Flanagan's
Usher. Hill House. He's really good in Hill House.
things. Yeah.
He has like one scene in it, but he's not in this movie a lot, but he's pretty like he's a nasty dude. You know, like you remember him in this movie, even though he's not in it too much. Yeah, Bradley Trevor I think is a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to save someone this episode, Jeremy?
I'm gonna save the pitcher who gave up a home run to Baseball Boy, because you know he left that day and was like, "Fuck that kid. Bradley's a bitch. He can't hit. He got lucky, and that was his whole car ride home. And then that night, Bradley died, and then he went to school the next day not knowing that Bradley was dead, and was still like, Bradley's a bitch. And now he looks like an asshole." So I'm going to save the pitcher that gave up the home run to Bradley.
I need this spin-off in my life.
That's crazy. Okay.
Dr. Sleep 2, but it's just that one pitcher who fucking sucks.
All right.
You're not saving the little girl from the beginning. You're not saving Abra's dad. You're not even saving Dan Torrance. You're saving pitcher.
I'm saving unnamed pitcher.
Jeremy's like, I'm standing on business.
Yeah.
Baseball business.
Baseball business.
Baseball boy business. Okay. Favorite scare?
There's a lot of good ones in this one, but I'll tell you what fucked me up in the theater when I first saw this movie.
Okay.
When Dan Torrance... So in the beginning of this movie, Dan Torrance is not a great guy, and he getting drunk, and he maybe kind of killed someone, maybe, and he doing drugs.
Yeah.
and he hooking up. He's having premarital sex, and he hooks up with another woman who's rock bottom with him.
Yep.
Who has a kid, and he like leaves while she's sleeping, and this is like a toddler aged kid who can't fend for himself. He steals her money. Also, in the theatrical cut, it's a little ambiguous. In the director's cut, he explicitly steals her money. And she, I guess, overdosed or died or something, and then the boy died in starvation. So their ghosts visit Dan in his new place, and when Ghost Baby, like, turned that... Have you seen Trainspotting?
Yes.
Spoiler alerts for Trainspotting if listeners haven't seen it. What is with Ewan McGregor and Ghost Babies? Also, I guess episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, kind of counts in this regard too.
It's true.
But
yeah, that's
a crazy triple feature: Trainspotting, Doctor Sleep, and Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Fuck yeah, it is.
But that Ghost Baby's my favorite scare. It still scares me. I think it's horrifying.
That's super fair. I feel like mine's kind of a cop-out, but when he is in the Overlook and he goes through and you see him stop at the door, and then it, like, immediately flashes to the flashback of her screaming, like, when screaming.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that got me good.
Yeah, that actually got me yesterday, too, because I knew it was coming, but I didn't remember the exact timing.
Right.
But the baby... Jeremy, do you have a favorite scare?
I do really like the flashback to the moment where the axe comes through the door, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought that was really well done. I think that's probably it. I really did enjoy the scenes in this movie where, like, really kind of the whole Overlook hotel. Like, I really liked the part where Abra is, like, where's Uncle Dan? And he comes around the corner holding the axe, looking just like Jack, and starts charging at her with the axe. I was like, dang, like, that was well done. I liked that.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
All right, Tony Todd Award for movie MVP.
So before we do this, I am going to... So, last week, I tried to make it a rule where it's like, we can't pick Kate Siegel, and we can't pick... The whole month we can't pick Mike Flanagan, because, duh. I wanted to make a rule where we can't pick Kate Siegel or John Gallagher Jr., and you said, there's only 2 other people in that movie, Austin. You can't do that. I'm like, okay, that's fair. This year, this year... This week, I can disqualify Ewan McGregor and Rebecca Ferguson because there are so...
It's a huge ensemble cast, yeah.
Exactly. And you know a cast is stacked when we didn't even mention Bruce Greenwood yet.
That's true, we did not.
Bruce Greenwood's in a movie. But yeah, this movie is just stacked with potential Tony Todd MVPs. But because Rebecca Ferguson and Ewan McGregor are both so phenomenal in this movie, I'm just like, it's easier for I can disqualify them from they're Ewan McGregor and Rebecca Ferguson. They're fine. He's literally Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think he'll live.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Should we talk about Ewan McGregor's performance in this and Rebecca Ferguson's performance in this before we pick our
Yes. I think Ewan McGregor's so good.
Yeah.
I have a hot take.
Is it that he's a good actor?
I think he is. I think we take him for granted.
Okay.
I think he's actually, for his generation, one of the greats.
I would agree.
And no one talks about how phenomenal he really is. Like, did you know that he had to get back surgery after the Star Wars prequel trilogy?
I did not know that.
Yeah, from carrying those fucking movies on his back for a decade.
All right. All right.
But seriously, he Trainspotting, which that movie has a legacy sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Trainspotting 2, so that's why it's just coming to me now. But he he's phenomenal in that. He's Moulin Rouge, he's phenomenal. But like this movie particularly, I think it's one of my favorite performances of his.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
He gets to do so much.
Mm-hmm.
So much in this. And obviously my favorite's Obi-Wan. Like, I'm a Star Wars nerd through and through. But no, I just think he's phenomenal in this. And the scene you were mentioning earlier where he's at the AA meeting getting his 8-year chip and he's talking about his dad. It seems like that. It seems like having a drink with Jack at the Overlook bar. He is doing so much in this movie.
He's a phenomenal singer as well. I know that doesn't happen in this movie, but he is.
It does when they sing he sings Come Fly With Me with the
That's
older gentleman.
Yeah. He's phenomenal. He's just great.
Oh yeah. And he's going to be in a dinosaur movie this year with Anne Hathaway, directed by David Robert Mitchell, director of It Follows.
I did not know that.
It's called At the End of Oak Street.
Oh.
And every time I see that, I'm like, is the Oak Cafe safe? Is the Oak all right?
No, it's not. It's been sat on by dinosaurs.
No!
What a just absolutely phenomenal guy he is.
Oh, Ewan?
Yeah.
I love him in this movie. I love his acting.
My favorite movie that he is in is called I Love You, Philip Morris.
I've never seen it.
It is with him and Jim Carrey. They play each other's love interests. It's very funny. It's a very good comedy.
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
You know what legacy sequel he's in and I completely forgot about until this moment?
E2 Trainspotting?
No, I just mentioned how... I did just think about it, but at an earlier moment. Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was Christopher.
He is the titular Robin.
Yeah.
He's the titular Robin.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he's great. And he's a great villain in Birds of Prey.
Mm-hmm. He was phenomenal earlier in his career in the movie Emma as well, which is a Jane Austen adaptation.
Did they do another one with Anya Taylor-Joy?
Yes.
She's coming up a lot in this podcast episode for some reason.
Yep. Two whole times.
He's in Big Fish.
That's true.
But that's actually pretty good that we mentioned her because she's going to be in the upcoming Dune 3. Mm-hmm. The Dune franchise features Rebecca Ferguson, who plays Rose the Hat, the other disqualified actor from the Tony Todd MVP award. But if I didn't, I would just give it to her right away because Rose the Hat is one of my favorite horror villains of the past decade.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
pretty great.
I think what Rebecca Ferguson is doing with Rose the Hat is up there with John Goodman in 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Like some of that classic Boris Karloff stuff from like the 30, 40, like Bela Lugosi as Dracula, Robert Englund as Freddy. I think Rebecca Ferguson's Rose the Hat is one of the best horror villain performances. Just straight up.
I have only ever seen 2 movies with Rebecca Ferguson in them. And one of them was this one.
That is a little crazy to me, but when the audience finds out you have not seen any Mission Impossible movies...
I think they'll live.
But will they live when I say you haven't seen any Dunes?
Probably not, but that one's on my list. I'll get there. But I've seen The Greatest Showman, and she was in it.
I would actually be so appalled if you haven't seen The Greatest Showman.
That's super fair.
And I like The Greatest Showman. I forget the character she plays, but she does the Never Enough song.
Yeah, she plays Jenny Lind.
I believe she is not the voice who sings.
She is not. No.
But that's okay.
No, she does a great job, but yeah, no, she is not the voice.
That song
she
is
does.
such a ridiculous ballad that, like, I feel like if that were her, everybody would be like, hey, you should stop acting and probably just focus on that part of your talents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
But she is phenomenal as Rose the Hat. She's very disconcerting, which is obviously the point.
And there's like a charisma to her. Where it's like you understand why there's a bunch of people following her.
Yeah. Yeah.
She gets to say some nasty stuff in this. It's awesome.
Yeah,
She's
she's wild.
evil.
She's very evil.
I think in a
What the fuck is up with, like, Irish vampires, you know?
Dr. Sleep was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Rose walked so Remick can run.
Real. She is scary. Anywho.
And she's singing like a song about an Irish rose in the very beginning. I'm like, because she's Irish and Rose.
Mm-hmm.
I love Rose the Hat. This is a Rose the Hat Stan podcast. She is bae.
She is vampire.
I love her.
You know how I feel about vampires.
I know she eats kids, but we could work around that.
Okay. Would you like to name your Tony Todd Award winner, since we can't do Rebecca Ferguson or Ewan McGregor?
Yeah. But I'll let you guys go first.
Okay.
There's so many great options.
That's fair. I am going to say somebody that I've already talked about, who is Carl Lumbly.
Yes!
Is Dick Halloran. I think he did such a phenomenal job. He's so phenomenal. I mean, like, he's a great actor anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So I'm going to say that.
His scenes are so good.
I didn't know really who Carl Lumbly was before he was Isaiah Bradley in the Captain America franchise. But he's very prolific. He, was a main role in, Cagney and Lacey in the 80s and kind of, those. That's kind of his bag, is those type of, cop shows from the 80s. But, yeah, he is a very phenomenal actor. What about you, Jeremy?
I feel like you guys think I'm going to go with Jacob Tremblay, but I'm not.
Baseball's not that strong.
Baseball didn't play a big enough role in this film. No, I'm going to give mine to Henry Thomas, who plays the bartender who goes by Lloyd in the movie, but he resembles and is essentially supposed to be Jack Torrance. I think I don't care who you are, if someone walks up to you and says, you're gonna play the spirit version of Jack Torrance, you are going to reprise this role, or be this role that was made incredibly famous by one of the greatest actors
Ever.
Yeah. That's really fucking hard. And I think he did a very good job.
Oh, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I think that is such an insane ask.
Right. That's
of
what
anyone.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where I almost am like, we're going to ask Jack, and when he says no, we're going to cut the scene.
Right. Right. But they couldn't cut the scene because this is a scene that Stephen King,
gave the okay for.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, no, I think he did a really, really good job. And I thought that he did something that was a impossible ask and did well.
Yes.
So.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to name a few honorable mentions. Kylie Curran as Abra Stone is phenomenal.
Yeah, she was
I think
great.
if she's not, this movie doesn't work. I think Zahn McClarnon plays such a good secondary baddie as Crow Daddy.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's
he does.
great.
The scene in the car.
I almost said him.
The scene I'm referencing is Kylie Curran playing a drugged Abra possessed by Ewan McGregor's Danny Torrance, and then Zahn McClarnon, what?
She does such a good job bringing levity to that role,
Yes.
too. It's so good.
And the movie needs some levity.
Yeah,
it's not as,
absolutely.
I feel like this movie fits Stephen King tone so well.
Yes, agreed.
She also hadn't been in much by the time she did this role.
Mm-hmm.
She was in a Broadway production of The Lion King. She played
that's
young Nala, which is obviously a huge role,
Right.
but not film.
But not
She
film,
did an indie production in 2017 called I Can, I Will, I Did. And then she did Dr. Sleep.
That's crazy.
Those were the only 2 acting roles she had before Dr. Sleep.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And then she was in Fall of the House. So she
in
made the
Usher.
connection she needs to. She'll be in a few more things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's in Carrie, but I'd be surprised if she wasn't in Carrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Some more honorable mentions: Zachary Momo and Jocelyn Donahue as Abra's parents.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jocelyn Donahue. She's in a lot of other really cool indie horror films that maybe we'll cover on this podcast one day. One Last Stop in Yuma County. Maybe not that one. That one's not a horror movie. It's a thriller. But that movie's really good. Ty West's House of the Devil is really good. She's in Insidious Chapter 2, which is not an indie horror movie. I just like that movie, and she's in it. Bruce Greenwood, Alex Esso. I'm always going to shout them out. Obviously, Jacob Tremblay. Violet McGraw's in this, and she plays a little girl in the beginning. You would know her from Megan or Haunting of Hill House.
Mm-hmm.
House on Haunted Hill is a very different movie.
Yeah.
All that to say, my Tony Todd Award winner for movie MVP is going to Cliff Curtis as Billy Freeman.
Fair. Yeah. Yeah, there were a lot of people that I was thinking of. There are so many people you can...
And I forgot to mention Emily Lind as Snakebite Andy.
Oh, God, yeah.
Who
Jeremy
killed
knew her from, like, a different thing.
She's great in this movie, but she killed Billy, and I can't let her have the award.
Well, Billy killed himself.
Because of her.
That's fair.
Yeah, I knew her from the Babysitter movies.
I've actually never seen them. I know Jenna Ortega's in one of them. And Samara Weaving's a babysitter, I think.
Yes.
I love Samara Weaving.
Oh, I thought the babysitter was... What's her face?
She's like a friend of the... She's in it, though. She's in both of them.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Cliff Curtis, he's in so much stuff. If you just go on his IMDb, you've seen him.
Mm-hmm.
He is so good in this movie, though.
Yep.
And I cry every time.
Austin, have you met anybody in this cast? Obviously, we've talked about you meeting Mike Flanagan.
I have met Mike Flanagan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going down the list of IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
I have not met Ewan McGregor.
Dang.
Unfortunately.
Are we going to say no to every single person?
No, I'm not going to do that. I have met Robert Longstreet.
Okay.
He's super cool.
Did you ask him about that fuck-ass movie?
No, I don't think that was a thing yet.
That's
but
fair.
I told him how that I really liked his work with Mike Flanagan, and I loved his like one scene in Hill House.
And he was like, let me tell you about this upcoming project.
Yeah, exactly. No,
It's called Fuck My Son.
and I was like, huh? I've met Bruce Greenwood, who is real cool. I got to talk to him about the Lemon monologue and Usher. He's great. I'm just kind of going through, but yeah, those two. And then the big one from this movie is I have met Henry Thomas.
Nice.
And as a huge E.T. fan,
That was probably a pretty big deal.
I mean, look at my phone case.
Yeah.
I'm showing Anneliese that my phone displays literally the poster for E.T.
Mm-hmm.
It was an amazing, and he was really quiet, but he was really like appreciative. Like talking to him, he just seemed like he was really happy to be where he was. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Kind of quiet, but happy to be there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, is the score better than Jaws?
No.
No, but it is done by the Newton Brothers. Obviously, it includes a reworked rendition of the main theme, D.S.E. Ray.
I think they do an incredible job of recreating the sonic soundscape, or at least the musical soundscape of Dr. Sleep.
I totally agree.
The Shining. Obviously, they did a good job with Dr. Sleep. They did it. But kind of keeping Dr. Sleep in line with The Shining is what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Is this a fine addition to your collection? Do you own this?
I bought this as soon as I could. I own it on 4K Blu-ray with both the theatrical and director's cuts.
Mm-hmm.
I have this amazing piece of artwork by my friend Adam Michaels, best known on Instagram. Follow him at Adam's Art Box. He makes amazing pieces of artwork. I have this phenomenal Rose the Hat that he did a few years back. It's one of my favorite pieces in my collection, and I could have had Mike Flanagan sign it, and I didn't because I was a dumb, silly, goofy guy.
Okay.
But I love this movie. I do own it on 4K. How about you? Would you? Do you? Would you maybe do it?
Well, actually, I do own it because in order to watch the director's cut, I had to buy it.
Oh no! I thought it was just on HBO.
No, so I did buy it, but I'm not mad about owning it. I would love to own like a physical release at some point. But yeah, so
Did it come with the? I'm sorry.
I pretty quickly looked into if I could buy like a cool collector's edition of like like a Shining
Right,
Sleep
like
box
a
set.
double
And
pack.
it exists, but I don't.
It's not cool.
It's not cool.
It's like for bargain hunters.
Right.
Yeah.
So we could get 2 steel books, is what I'm hearing.
I got a yeah, exactly. I got a really cool steelbook. Yeah, because I bought the steelbook of Dr. Sleep when it came out. When you bought it, was it both versions or was it just the director's?
It was just the director's. It's the digital version. So
Okay.
yeah.
The theatrical cut's really good, but that should be on HBO Max. It's a Warner Brothers movie. Director's cut, I just assumed would be on.
I don't think either of them are on HBO.
That's weird when movies aren't on their respective studios' platform, because all the studios have their own platforms now.
I agree, but yeah, no, it's only available for rent or obviously the director's cut to buy.
I'm sure it'll be on as soon as you buy the theatrical. It'll go straight on HBO Max.
I'm absolutely sure. Yeah, 100%. But that was okay. It was worth it. I liked it. Okay, are you guys ready for your Letterboxd reviews?
Time for Letterboxd reviews. I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. I gave this movie. Hold on. I can do it. I gotta find it. There we go. I gave this movie 4.5 stars.
Hell yeah.
And a heart.
Let's go!
And I said, call it the Force, call it the Shining. These are not the droids you are looking for. There's a moment earlier in the movie where they do just Force mind manipulation at one point. And I just like...
And Ewan McGregor literally has the high ground.
Right. I like looked over at Anneliese and I go, this is just an Obi-Wan origin film.
Yeah.
That scene, there was a point in development where that scene, the Overlook, was going to be on fire. And then Mike Flanagan's like, this is too Star Wars. If I have Ewan McGregor fighting someone with his mind surrounded by flames while having the high ground, I will never overcome the Star Wars fan allegation.
Yeah.
He's like, it is Star Wars.
Yeah.
I love that. Anneliese, what is your Letterboxd review?
I originally gave this 3 stars. I think I am bumping it up to 3.5 and a heart.
Let's go!
Here's the thing. My review is kind of harsh, but I still stand by it because of all the stuff that I've told you. I said, it was okay. I liked The Shining, so I wonder how much of my enjoyment of this movie comes from nostalgia. Considering the parts I liked best were the ones with Dick Halloran and the Overlook, I'm inclined to say much of it.
That's just like your opinion, man.
I want to, like I said, I want to rewatch. I want to do it again.
No, I think it's cool. I'm just playing with you. And listen, when you have the opportunity to do a Big Lebowski reference, you take it.
That's true. All right, what is your Letterboxd review?
This is an Austin 5-star classic. I gave this 5 stars a long time. Like I said, this is one of my favorite movies. I love this movie so much. And a heart. And I said, unfortunately, being Rosa Hat does work on me. Yeah. And I put a couple thirsty emojis.
That's good.
I have such a crush on Rosa Hat.
I know.
She is my problematic bae.
You have a lot of problematic baes. You can't just be like, she's the one.
She might be the most problematic.
Maggot mommy.
I do love Maggot. I think I like Rosa Hat more.
That's fair. I still think that
It's the
she's
hat.
more okay.
No, I'm kidding.
problematic. Like
Then Maggot Mommy?
no, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, Maggot Mommy's more Okay. Okay, that's fair. Why not both?
That's fair, I guess.
I've reviewed this 7 times. So I've seen the movie 7 times. This came out in my Letterboxd era.
Mm-hmm.
One of my reviews, I said I watched it on Mike Flanagan's birthday, and I say some really nice things. And then I say in parentheses, is it bad I have the biggest crush on Rosa Hat?
Okay, so this is just what you're doing.
I said I said this May 20th, 2024.
Right.
Once I called it a modern horror epic. I can't wait for this film to be widely recognized as a masterpiece as it is. So this is crazy. When it came out I saw it for the first time November 16th, 2019. I said, look, I'm just going to say it. I like this more than I like The Shining. Fight me. This was an instant 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
When I say I love this movie, I love this movie. But like I said, it's one of my favorites, and my Letterboxd era backs me up on that. My stance has never changed.
That's true. All right, there are no Supernatural alumni, so let's move on to our special edition superlative, which is about the Flanagan, who has been in this movie that is in many other things. So I'm just going to go through the list. We have Henry Thomas, obviously, as we talked about. He's in tons and tons and tons of Flanagan projects. He's in Usher, he's in Midnight Club, he's in Midnight Mass, he's in both of The Hauntings. He's obviously in Gerald's Game. He's in Ouija, Origin of Evil. Just a lot of shit, you know?
He's so good
with
Mike Flanagan. I think Ouija's the first collaboration between the two.
Yes. Ouija was the first collaboration.
And he has he's only in one scene, really, in Gerald's Game, but it is such a nasty scene. One of his nastiest roles.
He has been in every single project that Mike Flanagan has done between Ouija, Origin of Evil, and Usher. He was not in Life of Chuck, but everything previous to that until Ouija.
Mm-hmm.
Katie Parker plays Silent Sari.
One of the True Knot, I think.
Who is one of the True Knot. We've talked about her before. She is in a lot of his other work. She was Annabelle Lee in The Fall of the House of Usher. She was in Midnight Club. She was in one of the flashbacks in Haunting of Bly Manor. She was in one of the flashbacks in Haunting of Hill House. She's been in a lot as well. She was also very small role in Oculus, an unnamed role. Bruce Greenwood, as we talked about, was Dr. John Dalton, who's kind of the guy who gave Ewan McGregor's character, Dan, his second chance.
They do the reverse job interview.
Yeah.
Shot it exactly like The Shining
Mm-hmm.
job interview scene. But yeah, Bruce Greenwood has a important but smaller role in this one.
Yeah, he plays Roderick Usher in Usher. He's also in the background of Haunting of Hill House. He's Gerald in Gerald's Game.
The titular Gerald.
Haha, get it? That movie and tits. Alex Esso obviously plays Wendy. She is in Haunting of Bly Manor. She is in Midnight Mass.
Mm-hmm.
She plays Mildred in Midnight Mass, which is honestly one of my favorite characters in that entire show.
She has a little cameo in Usher.
Yeah, she's got a little cameo in Usher. She's got a small role in Midnight Club. Barry the Chunk, we talked about him.
Played by Robert Longstreet.
In
case anyone listening thought that was the actor.
That's the actor's name. No, we did talk about him, though. He's the one who has that very interesting movie out. But he plays Horace Dudley in Haunting of Hill House. Joe Colley in Midnight Mass. The janitor in Midnight Club. Who is actually supposed to be a much bigger role in following seasons. But we'll talk about that. The Fall of the House of Usher. He's Mr. Longfellow. He's got quite a few roles.
Yep. He's super important in Midnight Mass.
Yeah. Jamie Flanagan, who is Mike Flanagan's sibling, plays Diesel Doug, who is another member of the True Knot. They are also they have small roles in a lot of his other stuff. So, like, they were in Haunting of Hill House as the funeral director. They were a group leader in Midnight Club. Like, they do a lot of, like, cameos and a lot of Mike Flanagan stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Tremblay, Bradley Trevor, baseball boy.
Yep.
He is also in Life of Chuck.
And Before I Wake, I believe.
And yes, you were right. He's a very small boy in Before I Wake. Carl Lumbly was in this. Obviously, he was Dick Halloran.
Mm-hmm.
And he is in Fall of the House of Usher. He plays a very main character in that, as well as in The Life of Chuck. And obviously, Kylie Curran plays Abra. She is also Lenore in
Usher.
Violet McGraw is Violet. She also plays young Nell in Haunting of Hill House.
She
so plays
good in Hill
Iris in The Life of Chuck. She's a very talented young actress.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see anybody else. Carol Struycken.
Dr. Sleep might have like some of like the most.
Yeah.
But because it's a epic movie,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone, I'm sure most people are like, yes, I want to be in your Shining movie.
Right. But Carol Struycken plays Grandpa Flick. He's also the giant in Gerald's Game. Fedor Steer plays Vito the Chopper. He's William Hill in Haunting of Hill House, the really, really tall ghost. Apron Annie was also in Hill House in a smaller role. Logan Medina had a very small role. He's plays in the library. His thoughts are read by Abra in one scene,
Mm-hmm.
but he's also got roles in Hill House. Molly Quinn plays Mrs. Grady, one of the overlooked ghosts, and she's also in Fall of the House of Usher and Chuck, and Life of Chuck. She is in also the show Castle, which I don't know if any of you have ever seen.
I've seen episodes of Castle's. I like that show, but it's like something where I never seeked Castle out.
That's fair. I really like Nathan Fillion as an actor, so
Me
I've
too.
seen a lot of the episodes, but yeah.
It
And
was just one of those
that's-
shows where if it was on, I didn't change the channel.
That's fair. And that's a lot. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, tons and tons of actors who he's reused, some in just like bit parts, some in, big roles. Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like this and Life of Chuck, Mike Flanagan got to play with a lot of his, and with new people too, because I think this was the first time he worked with, obviously Kylie Curran, but like Carl Lumbly. I think that was their first collaboration.
Yes.
I think it was his first collaboration with Alex Esso.
I think that's true too, yes.
More, I'm sure. I'd be interested to see him work with Ewan McGregor and Rebecca Ferguson again. But with those bigger Hollywood stars, it's hard to like... I mean, Ewan McGregor's doing DC movies and obviously Star Wars. Rebecca Ferguson's got Dune and Mission Impossible. Not that they're... And, we don't know. But I feel like working with those big, big stars, they're going to be more spread out. Because, he didn't get to work with Karen Gill. And I know Karen Gillan loves Mike Flanagan, but there's a decade in between Oculus and Life of Chuck.
Yeah.
So, with those big stars, I don't know how often you can do it. But, people love to work with Mike Flanagan.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Flanagan's only said the most amazing things about Ewan McGregor and Rebecca Ferguson. So hopefully their schedules can align.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to see those collaborations.
Same. That would be awesome.
And I'm just going to say one thing. I think had they met beforehand, Rahu Kohli would have been in Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. He's used him in everything since he found him, so...
But we'll talk a bunch about Rahu Kohli next week.
Yes, we will. Trust me, it's my number one priority for next week. Austin, would you die?
Yes.
Why?
Rose the Hat. She'd be like, well, hi there. I'd be like, hi.
Compelling.
She'd be like, I'm going to eat you. I'll be like, please and thank you.
Jeremy, would you die?
No.
Why?
I don't have the shine.
That's also how I felt. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't die. I don't have that.
Like, I'm just, like, living my life. They aren't coming for me.
Correct.
What if you had a little bit of the shine and you didn't know it?
They don't really bother with those people.
No, not enough steam.
No, they don't.
Not enough steam.
No, you're right. I hope I have the shine.
My biggest regret about this movie, and I told Anneliese this, is that the song "Diamonds" by Rihanna should have been the end credit song.
I like what they went with.
Austin, where can the people find you?
You can find me working at the Tiny Train with Billy Freeman.
Cute.
You can also find me at Austin M. Torres across the socials. Find me on Instagram, Letterboxd, and Threads. You can find the show's social media at Would You Die Show. You can follow and subscribe to us on YouTube, where in addition to this podcast, you can also find my short films like Spider, Ice Cream, and The Blood Witch, where I did use Rosa Hat as inspiration for The Blood Witch for certain things. And my upcoming short film, Dietary Restrictions, the trailer is on that YouTube channel. Subscribe to our Patreon. For only $3 a month, you get a bunch of really cool bonus content, including our bi-monthly show, The Godzilla Project, where we talked about horror queen Rosa Hat this week. This month we talked about horror queen Mothra in Mothra vs. Godzilla. We have a weekly sports recap show because we like sports.
And we don't care who knows.
We don't care who knows. We also say our book of the week and our albums of the weeks. And yeah, we talk a lot on the Patreon. We have a monthly bonus episode. This month it's going to be Life of Chuck, Mike Flanagan's only non-horror movie.
Yep.
So far, but at the moment, the only non-horror thing he has. And we work really hard, so...
The only non-horror thing he has is also a Stephen King adaptation.
Yeah, it's also a Stephen King
hilarious.
adaptation. But, and he's about to go so into horror after that, with both a Carrie and Exorcist adaptations coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we work really hard, so if you like what we do, help support us, only $3 a month. And where can the people find you?
The people can find me at the Overlook Hotel, just waiting in the boiler room for something to happen. You can also find me on all social medias at Whimsawillow. Jeremy, where can the people find you?
The people can find me using my gift of the shitting. Because I'm not trying to get sued.
Hey.
You can also find me at Annually Funny across all social platforms.
Huge thank you to Jeremy Lippitt for producing our podcast. Thank you also to Josie Palmer for being our theme music composer. You can check her out on Spotify and Apple Music. Thank you to Al Gibson at Crosshook Creative for doing all of our graphics displayed on our social media. You can check out more of his work at wearecrosshook.com. Austin, do you have a hint for the next episode?
We're heading to the small screen. Until then, I'm Austin Torres.
And I'm Anneliese Petersmark.
Try not to die.